Hey guys, this is the 2017 number 4. I know most of you already read the question. I'm just going to run right through it. I'm going to grab my yellow highlighter. This is a two-dimensional integer array. You're going to have numbers that are consecutive, so between 5 through 16 in this example. Obviously, this is just for this example. So what does that mean? It basically says 5 is here, 6 is here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so the numbers are all scrambled in here. Okay, so it says the following position class is used to represent positions in the integer array. The notation RC is used to refer to the position at the row and column. So for example here, we're going to, basically the following position class is used to represent positions in the integer array. We're going to write a static method find position that takes an integer value and a two-dimensional integer array as their parameters, and it's going to return the row and column that it's located at. So for instance, if you call the find position 8 comma array, if this was the array, if you go to 8 right here, it's located at 2, 1. So this method find position is going to give you back 2, 1. If you look at for the number 17, it's going to return null, because remember in that example the numbers were 5 through 16. Okay, so this is not going to be bad at all. I just want you guys to remember that we are going to pass. First of all, we should take a look at this constructor here. The constructor takes a row and a column. It's called position. Now we should remind ourselves that anytime we have a two-dimensional array, anytime we know that we're going to be using a double for loop. So let's take a look at this answer here. So I just thought it was a very simple answer, so I didn't want to write it out. It says public static position find position int num int array. Now, in this case here, it's very important. You're going to put in the number like 8 or 17. You're going to pass through a two-dimensional array, and it's going to tell you where it's located. And if it's not located in that array, it's going to return null. Here's the key. It's going to return position, right? We're used to returning an integer, a double, a string. Those are simple. When it's position or something else, you have to create it to be a new object to return it. So how do we find the number num that we're going to pass through? Well, it has to check everything through the two-dimensional array. So that's going to be for int row equals 0, row is less than int array dot length, which is this guy here, and then int array 0 dot length for the column. After that, what we're going to do is we're going to remember that anytime you have a two-dimensional array, when you have an assignment like this, it looks inside. So int array row column equals num. If that is true, then we're going to return it. Well, how do we return it? This is how you return something that's not like a primitive data type. So return, in other words, an object. Return new position row comma column. The reason, once again, that it's row column is because position from the constructor, from here, okay, let me just get rid of this. From here, you can tell that it takes a row and a column. And so that's basically what it is returning. And so that's how you do part A. Once again, you run through a two-dimensional array and you look for the number. Once the number's in there, you return it. If it's not there, you return null. Let's finish up with part B. So once again, find position takes an integer and a two-dimensional array. We're going to need that for part B. Part B says, here is a two-dimensional array. Here is what we call a two-dimensional successor array. What that means is something's defined as successor, like the successor of 8 is 9. It's 1 greater than the value. So, but it's not going to tell you where 9 is. So let's take a look at this guy here. That's the successor 6. Okay, so let me just get rid of this for a second. The successor of 15 is 16. The successor of 5 is 6. The successor of 9 is 10, and so on. what it's going to tell you is where the position is, the row and the column. That's important. So for example, where is 16 here? It's right there. 16 is at 1, 1. That's why that's there. Where is 6, right? So 6 is right there. That's 1, 3. That's why that's there. And these are the successors. Where is 10? 10 is at 0, 3. These are the successors. So how do we do this? All right. So what we are returning in this type, in this example, is a two-dimensional array. In order to do a problem that asks you to return a two-dimensional array, you must first create the two-dimensional array that you're going to return. And remember that this array here and this array here have the same size. So typically, anytime you want to do something like that, you go int bracket bracket a1 equals new int bracket bracket, and then in here you have to put some sort of fixed number there, right? So if we take a look at this example, let me take a look here first. It says write a 2D successor array as described in part B. So we are going to take just a two-dimensional array called int arr. That's important because, like I said earlier, we are going to be returning a two-dimensional successor of type position. Okay, so position new array equals new position int arr.length, that's the row number for this guy. Int arr 0, that's the column number for this guy. And then you are going to be returning new array. So what are we doing in this case? Well, we're going to go through each number and find its successor, the location. Remember that find position, it takes a number and a two-dimensional array. The two-dimensional array is this guy here, and we are trying to return the successor. So whichever number that's in this two-dimensional array, add 1. Okay? So add 1 to that, and it's going to be here. Now you might say, well, what about the null? Well, isn't it true that find position takes care of null already? So if it goes out of the number, then it'll just return the null for you. And this is what you're returning. So I hope that makes sense. I hope it was not too bad. Let me get rid of this stuff so you can see the answer. You can also see the answer online. And that's pretty much it. So the key is every single person in int array has to be, you have to add 1 to it. And just remind yourselves what's being passed through each method. What are the parameters? What do you have? And that's how you do this problem. Thank you.